Alright, welcome to the Auman Landscape YouTube channel. Welcome to Auman HQ, the shop property here that we're working on building. And I am doing a lot of site work here on this place, as you'll see in some other footage here. And if you're following along on the channel, please like and subscribe and all that silly stuff. Going to talk about chainsaw stuff a little bit today. I'm doing some tree felling and processing, getting ready to chip up a bunch of trees and make room for our future facility here. So I look like Husqvarna boy here or something, or maybe not poster child for him, but our local dealer is a Husqvarna dealer, and so we just buy lots of Husk stuff. Steel, Echo, whoever. I'm not super brand specific in that, but I do want a dealer that is close and a dealer that takes good care of us. McGuire's here local. Again, they don't pay us anything, but they take good care of us, and I like to promote folks that take good care of us. So great customer service, and they always have products. So that's super cool. I've got my Husqvarna, what is this thing? I can't remember. My 550 XP. I love this saw. It was kind of a little treat yourself kind of thing. The company has a couple chainsaws. I try not to actually have our guys do any chainsaw work at all, because we're primarily a hardscape contractor, landscape contractor, and then we do a little bit of the environmental work and stuff, but we really try to stay out of chainsaw work. I don't mind it. I like doing it myself, but I don't want my guys doing it. It's super hazardous. It's dangerous. These things, it's amazing. People want to register guns and all that stuff, when really chainsaws are what should not be allowed in the hands of the average consumer. And why I say that is because people do not respect the dangerous tools that these things are. They're horrible. It's absolutely crazy how dangerous a chainsaw is, and I can't imagine the statistics of chainsaw injuries a year, but I imagine it's really something else. That's why I'm decked out in a lot of safety gear. Today I've got my shaps on. I just bought these. These are brand new. These are kind of probably your entry-level shaps or whatever. Shaps, however you want to say it. But what these do is, if you're running a saw and it grabs into your leg here, this has got a ton of fiber in it. And what it does is that fiber comes out and it clogs the saw up and actually just stops the saw from functioning. So they're made to just destruct and clog up the saw so it shuts down or bogs it down, So that's kind of the wild thing about shaps. Just make sure you get a good pair of well-fitting ones. Like Mark Parker from Steel says, you want to get some over the boot ones there if you can. That's ideal. And then they just button all the way, up into like a waist thing. You got pouches for tools and axes and wedges and all that kind of stuff. We really want to be safe. I've got, kind of probably all the arborist guys and logger guys are probably laughing at my setup, but I don't consider myself that. So we're just going as entry level as we can on it at bare minimum. Good forestry helmet. I love this brush guard, even though sometimes when I have it down, I'll spit into my screen there, which is kind of embarrassing sometimes. Integrated hearing protection, stuff like that, pretty handy all in one device. Otherwise, I'm just grabbing my full brim hard hat at least. I'll also wear eye protection with these things, because stuff even still gets through this debris screen. So we really want to make sure we're protecting our eyes. When we're changing chains, and people call them blades and crazy stuff, no, it's a chain. It's a chainsaw chain. And a few little tips on this when we're doing this kind of stuff. If your chain is loose, we don't want to tighten a hot chain. So if your chain is loose and you've been running it, you've been cutting a bunch of stuff, we want to make sure that we don't tighten the hot chain, because what it can do when it gets hot, it expands. And if you tighten it down, when that chain cools down, it can bend your drive sprocket and your shaft in there, maybe bend your bar, stretch your chain, all sorts of bad stuff. So only tension your chain when the saw is cooled down. Also, when you change out a chain for a new chain, you want to flip your bar. These are just a few things I know. Stuff Dad taught me, some things I've picked up here and there. You want to flip your bar. That helps promote even wear on your bar. Also, when you're tightening down the nuts here on this on your shield, you don't want to be just like this and just yanking and torquing the hell out of that thing. Couple fingers on there and just pull it tight. Couple fingers on there and just pull it tight. That keeps you from over torquing these things too much. Also, remember to turn your inertia brake off there too when you go to take this plate off. Right. Another good rule of thumb: anytime you fuel up your machine, top off your bar oil too. That's pretty much just a good habit to be in. Keep you from burning up your bar and running it without the proper oil. It's generally about 80-90 gear oil is more or less what it is, so far as I can tell. Now the brands are all going to have their special whatevers and their own bar oils and stuff. I don't know, whatever. That's kind of that. But that's kind of just a few basic things that I know on chainsaws, and basic things I do here that we try to be safe. So you know, head protection, earring protection, eye protection, right? And then chaps for protecting your legs and all those vital organs, because you get this thing dug into your leg, it isn't pretty. It's a nasty, nasty thing. These chainsaws are serious devices. Also, when you're gripping a chainsaw, you don't want to grip like this. You don't have a lot of control. Always make sure you get your monkey thumb there. Make sure you get that thing around whatever you're holding, right? And that just gives you a better grip and keeps you from potentially blowing off the handle or whatever. So those are just a few things there that I know about chainsaws. If I missed anything, mention it in the comments here. Please like and subscribe, all that garbage, so we can continue to keep bringing you hopefully value-filled content here at the channel. So, hey everybody, so we're talking chainsaw safety earlier, and just for the heck of it, I want to talk about this chipper we rented here from United Rentals, whatever, doesn't really matter who, I suppose. It's a 12-inch chipper, and I'll tell you right now, we're taking down some pretty big trees and processing those limbs and stuff. One thing I have definitely learned, we tried to get an 18-inch, wasn't available. Rent as big a chipper as you can stand and bigger than you need, because it's going to make it a lot easier to get the stuff processed that you need to. So if you're in that into things, get a bigger chipper. This Vermeer's been nice. It's doing a good job. I don't know what else there is to say about it really, other than I just wish we had a bigger one available to us, but alas we don't. So that's been that. Just don't be too hard on it. That's the thing, right? As you watch today, we didn't have our setup optimized. We didn't have the chipper backed up to where it was really in its best position. We didn't have the chipper sourced to where I could feed it with the hoe real easily with the branches oriented properly. So I had a few things kind of out of whack here, just as we're learning a good system. As this project convenes or progresses, let's say, we're going to figure out a good system of how to feed this and stage it and set it up. I've got the full-size skid steer here now, so we're going to hook that thing up to this machine with our adapter plate you'll see tomorrow. That way we can really maneuver this thing in around real close and really get some great production out of it and really get to shredding, because we really got to get producing here and make this job as effective as possible. So we're looking forward to that, so we'll see you on that video.
And there's always the learning from failure piece, right? Or, you know, fail fast and all this sort of stuff. And I remember we were talking one time about it. They're like, what did you learn from failure? I learned I don't like to fail. I mean, and to your point, I think if you think about it from a, you know, how do we learn from our experiences? How do we turn those into positives, right? How do we solve problems? I mean, I think that, and I'm going to try to pivot it back to drainage, right? Try to pivot your comment back to drainage. That's what we try to do, right? You try to solve a customer's problem. You try to come up with a product that provides an answer to something that someone has. And if you're successful doing that, you actually end up selling that product and you sell more of it. And you provide, you know, more opportunities. And that's, I think, you know, that's where I get from the statement that you made is like, we just need to learn as we go. We need to listen to customers. We need to listen to solutions, and we need to provide better answers and to problems which people have. If you do, I think you succeed, right? Not everything's perfect, but you've got to learn as you go.
That's the formula, right? Like, right. That's what I like that.